they wanted to prohibit it. So what did they do? They amended the Constitution. Can you imagine what it would be like today if somebody said, "Oh, I don't want you guys smoking a marijuana cigarette, so let's go write a constitutional amendment to make sure nobody smokes marijuana." I mean, there's so little respect. But you know, one thing that's interesting that's happening, I think it's very positive, and that has to do with nullification. Anybody ever hear about nullification?
Yeah!
Listen to left-wing pundits on the TV, they'll say, "Oh, that's that radical left-wing stuff that we just totally, right-wing stuff that we just totally disagree with. You know, your states' rights people, that's a real negative term." But you know what? There are state laws written in California and other states that says that sick people can use marijuana when they're sick and dying because some people really find it can help. So they write a state law that says that. But the feds come in and they overrule the state law and they will put sick people in jail for using marijuana because it helps them. I would say nullification there, left and right, ought to support that position.
You're the doctor.
In Iraq, where they claimed this victory, I think that it's probably worse off than even before. Even as bad as Saddam Hussein was, and he was a monster, but he didn't have nuclear weapons like we were told. He did not deal with the Al-Qaeda, which we were told he did, and he actually, had a bit of tolerance for Christians. He had a Christian in his department, in his administration. And that doesn't mean anybody should interpret this that I'm defending this guy. I'm defending non-intervention is what I'm defending. So we go over there, and because we want to punish somebody, we have to punish somebody even if they're unrelated to 9/11. So we decide that the number one target is Iraq. And we're going to remake Iraq. So we go in there, and we lost 3,000 people, so we go over there and lose 5,000 Americans. It makes no sense. And what have we done? We took a very messy country where the minority Sunnis were controlling the Shiites and turned the country back over because we want the Shiites to take over. Guess what? They're buddies with Iran. So we've literally turned that country over to the Iranians. And at the same time, we got rid of one of the greatest opponents to radical Islam. So I don't see how that's going to be much better. Most of the Christians have had to leave Iraq, and for us to claim a great victory there is just foolish. The cost was way too high, and the sooner we can get out of all those countries and come home, the better.
War is a racket!
Why do I think we ought to come home from the Middle East? Because it doesn't serve our purpose. Don't you think it's time we come home from Korea and Japan and Germany?
Yeah.
I think we're going to win that argument. Not so much that I'm going to give a great speech in the Congress and then we're going to convert them, but we're going to win. We'll win this argument because we will not be able to maintain this foreign policy. You would thought that we would have learned the lesson that what brought the Soviets finally down to their knees was getting bogged down in a war in Afghanistan. So, we'll do it better. We'll go into Afghanistan. We won't get bogged down.
Ooh, baby, sit
Here
there,
we
okay.
are, once more, bogged down and bankrupting ourselves. You know, one of the worst interpretations, or a significant interpretation, is if you read exactly what Osama bin Laden said his plans were, and he never believed we would fall so deeply into his trap by stirring up trouble. He had three goals. He wanted to get us militarily bogged down in the Middle East in as many countries as possible.